Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to another Wild Rift video. And in today's video I'll be showing you guys a tier list for every single role in the new update 2.5. And there are timestamps in the description, by the way, if you just want to see the list. But if you actually want to listen to me talk about the list, let's get into it, right? So we got the Baron lane in the beginning, and there's a thing in the Baron lane which is Renekton. Renekton is like, the reason that he's in S plus tier, I want to tell you that he's not like giga broken, okay? There is a different reason that Renekton is in the S plus tier. And that reason is that he's always a good pick. In every single draft, he is a good pick, like at least an S tier pick. He doesn't really have any major counters. And he's really good in the early game. He's really good in team fights, and in late game, he's very tanky. He's just, he has it all. He really has it all as a Baron laner. Camille, Camille is like one of the best solo carrying champions in the game. However, it takes quite a lot of skill to play Camille. So for Camille to be S plus tier, you need to be very heavily skilled. Same goes for Aurelia. The only reasons that she's on top of the S tier is really good Aurelias can solo carry games, but Aurelia is not quite as strong as Camille in the Baron lane. But just like a really good Aurelia is so incredibly hard, like it's so hard to deal with because you can just solo carry games. Fiora, we all know that Fiora is super powerful. Darius, I've been underestimating Darius. So the thing with Darius is you can build him like damage and tanky, like Trinity Force, and then go for Steric's Gauge, Deadman's Plate, stuff like that. And all you really need to do is get your stacks or kill an enemy with your ultimate. Once you've stacked your full passive up, you're so incredibly powerful in a team fight. Like, you're so strong that the enemy cannot even fight you. They have to completely avoid you. That's how to deal with Darius. That's what makes him S plus tier. As long as you're able to get his stacks in a team fight, in the proper draft, I would say, he's just incredibly powerful. Riven is not as powerful as she used to be because of those nerfs, but still, definitely S tier. Pantheon, guys, they even buffed Pantheon. He was already S tier and they buffed his ultimate cooldown. I wanna talk about Cannon though. I feel like Cannon is a bit underrated. Cannon is stronger than some people may think. However, the only reason that, or not the only reason, the main reason that he's in the middle of the A tier instead of like somewhere like the S tier is because he doesn't really fit a lot of drafts currently. Because support, like we have the Enchanter support meta. Alistar is not really a meta. I mean, Braum is a good support, but besides Braum, pretty much any support is squishy. Even Rakan, who's like a little tanky, I guess, is still pretty squishy. So see, the problem is, like, the Baron laner is normally going to be at least somewhat of a tank. Like, if we look at all these champions right here, like look at every single champion above Cannon, it's at least somewhat of a tanky champion. Now, Cannon has zero tankiness, and the whole playstyle of Cannon is to ambush an enemy. So you need other tanks in your lane. Like, the mid laner either needs to pick a tank, the support, and the jungler. Like, that's kind of the problem of Cannon right now. Nasus is severely underrated. You guys know it. Like, you just check out my Nasus videos and you'll know why he's underrated. I'm not even gonna talk too much about Nasus. Vayne, Baron lane, very powerful, but the same problem as Cannon, you don't have a tank. And then we have Mundo right here. And the funny thing about Mundo is he's not really on the bottom of the B tier. It's just that he really never fits in the right draft. You only want to pick him if you're against like an ability power matchup, like what, Cannon, Akali, maybe Singed, Teemo. He's really good against those ability power champions, but against any other champion, you're gonna struggle in the Baron lane as a Mundo. Teemo is just kind of bad right now, especially after those nerfs. He really sucks. Okay, on to the jungle. So some stuff has changed here, and let me first start by talking about the S plus tier. Do you guys remember the previous tier list where Lee Sin was the only champion in the S plus tier? The reason that there's other champions in the S plus tier now is because Lee Sin got a nerf. They nerfed his second ability. Now it doesn't deal full burst damage, it deals the burst damage over 2 basic attacks. So you have more time to react to a Lee Sin gank, especially those very early ganks. So that definitely, still S plus tier, like he's still S plus tier, but not as broken as he used to be. Then we have Xin Chao, and Xin Chao is just, honestly, like, the thing about Xin Chao is he's always a good pick, always. Early game he's strong, late game he's super tanky. He's also very powerful in 1v1 situations. He can catch up to an enemy very easily. He has CC, he has that ultimate that blocks all the damage, all the incoming damage from outside. Guys, he really has it all as a jungler. He's also quite good at ganking, so just amazing jungler. Nunu, guys, Nunu got nerfed, but Nunu is still so powerful. He was pretty broken, and now after the nerf, he's just really good. You know what, guys? You know what? If this video reaches 1,000 likes, I'm gonna make a Nunu video for tomorrow. Screw it. You know what? Let me see how late it is. Yeah, okay. If I see that this video has potential to reach 1,000 likes, I'm just gonna play Nunu all day and get you guys a Nunu video tomorrow. Okay? I'm saying it, 1,000 likes. So Wukong, very tanky. His ultimate is really good, like just a very solid jungler. And then these three right here are basically the same. This guy is like, they're all assassins. They're all really good at assassinating an enemy. Kha'Zix is just like an incredibly broken late game as well. Like if you can catch out enemies in the late game in team fights, super powerful. Rengar pretty much one-shots enemies in the late game. The only weakness of Rengar is the early game. Pantheon is the opposite playstyle. He is an assassin as well, like these guys, but he's really mainly focused on the early game and using his ultimate, things like that. So Pantheon will fall off in the late game. He doesn't have any hard carry potential. But just so, like, he's even stronger than Lee Sin in the early game. Let that sink in for a minute. This guy, Pantheon, is quite literally the strongest jungler in the early game. Then we have Olaf, who is pretty underrated. I have some very old Olaf videos. The thing is, I don't really play a lot of Olaf anymore, but I've seen it a lot. I've asked around, and he's severely underrated. He's really good against heavy CC compositions. He's really good against compositions that you can just run down and just demolish with Olaf's abilities. But yeah, you know, they took away some of his tankiness, so you do have to play him a little more carefully. Vi really good at singling out an enemy. And I want to talk about some other champions, by the way, which is right here in the C tier. What the hell is Camille Jungle, who used to be on the S tier, doing in the C tier? So Camille Jungle is that, guys. In the recent update, they changed the hookshot so that it now, like, the hookshot doesn't hit jungle camps anymore now. So Camille's jungle clear is probably the slowest in the game right now, because you cannot get the bonus attack speed from hitting the jungle anymore with the hookshot. So unfortunately, that pretty much kills jungle Camille. You can't really play jungle Camille anymore. Jungle Diana, man, people are really getting the hype up too much for jungle Diana. See, it's so funny. Like, the buff mentioned that her passive is gonna do 110% damage to the jungle camps. Do you guys even know what that means? That means a total bonus damage of 10%. 10%. So Diana only does 10% more damage to the jungle. So of course Diana is still not a viable jungler. It's still the same as before. 10% is not gonna make any difference, guys. Hello? Okay, and then we have Evelynn, who has been nerfed pretty hard, but still like middle, bottom A tier, because in the late game she still one-shots enemies. But getting to that late game is obviously going to be way harder on Evelynn now. Graves, quite strong, you know, quite strong. Tryndamere pretty strong as well. These are all just very solid right here. Same goes for Fizz, by the way. He's not really viable as a jungler anymore. His jungle clear is so slow, and he's like, in the late game he's fine, of course, but his early game clearing is really, really bad right now, because they took away some of the damage that his passive deals. Oh, by the way, about Amumu, I have one thing to say about Amumu. So he is D tier, which means absolute garbage. However, the only way that you could possibly play Amumu is if you duo queue or trio queue with people that are gonna combine their abilities with your ultimate. Let me just give you guys an example. If you have Ziggs and Amumu, Amumu uses his ultimate on like 4 enemies, and then Ziggs uses his ultimate on those enemies. You have to time it perfectly. Only like this is Amumu gonna work. In solo queue, he's never gonna work. Like never, never, never. He's so trash in solo queue. You know, you just have to combine him with champions. Maybe you can combine him with ability power Malphite, or just a normal Malphite, you know? Amumu ult and then Malphite ult. That's what you have to do with him. That's the only way that you can really make him work, guys. Okay, on to the mid lane, and oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, we got your boy all the way over here. Look at this guy. I mean, why do we need such a brain dead champion on top of the list? Why here? Come on. Like Veigar, the thing about Veigar is he is the easiest champion to play from this entire list. He is the easiest champion, but yet he's the most broken. All you have to do with him is stack up, and then you're gonna one-shot enemies in the late game. You're literally gonna one-shot. It's just so incredibly stupid, and he's gonna get nerfed. If he doesn't get nerfed, I mean, I guess he's just gonna chill at the top of the S+ tier. As I said, abuse him. Abuse him now while you can, and you're gonna rank up like a mother. Like you're gonna rank up a whole lot. Like you're gonna rank up a lot. I even got challenger with Veigar. It's a funny thing. Like my last game was with Veigar. Ziggs is still Ziggs. You know, I don't know why he's not. He's still well, actually wait. He did get a nerf. They nerfed his passive a little bit, but that still makes him S plus tier. You know, it's a little nerf, but his problem is not really the passive. It's more his poking potential, his first ability, third ability, everything. That's really the problem, and his ultimate damage. So no one really deals as much damage as Ziggs. Even Veigar. Veigar is a burst champion. I mean Ziggs. What the hell am I talking about? Ziggs is just so broken, guys. Galio. I have one condition for Galio being on top of the S tier. Picking him in the right draft. Now you can tell me, yeah, you could say that for any champion. Blah, blah, blah. Why am I choosing Galio for that? Because Galio is an absolute hard counter to ability power melee champions like Fizz, like Evelynn, like Akali, like Katarina. You know, against these types of champions. If the enemy picks them, especially if they pick Evelynn jungle and another mid laner that is ability power, boom, you go for Galio and you completely hard counter the enemies. It's that easy, and he's gonna be S plus tier. Against that, he's gonna be S plus tier. And against anything else, he's just solid. You know, like in a normal draft, I guess he would be on the bottom of the S tier, but just against those champions, he would be like S plus tier. That's the thing. Irelia, you know, same as the Baron lane, a skilled Irelia can completely solo carry the game. Twisted Faith is severely underrated. I made a Twisted Faith video a few days ago. He's always a good pick. His ganking potential is unmatched. No one is as good at ganking as Twisted Faith, and he provides so much CC and burst damage in the late game. Zed is just really good in solo queue. Even though they nerfed Zed, obviously Zed is not S plus tier anymore, but still definitely S tier. Orianna is basically the same as Ziggs. However, Ziggs is stronger in the early game and a little bit stronger in the late game as well. But Orianna is kind of like a bad Ziggs, I guess. You know, a bad Ziggs. Katarina still has that solo carry potential, and there is another thing about Katarina. She is the absolute hardest carry to Veigar. And I'm gonna ask you guys to test your knowledge. Why is this is like a test your knowledge during a tier list, which is kind of funny. Why am I saying that Katarina is the single hardest counter to Veigar? Why? Why would I say that? Put your answer in the comments. Put the video on pause, because I'm going to reveal it right now, but put it in the comments. So yeah, pause the video and let me tell you right now. Katarina has her third ability, and you can get it so easily, and the third ability, bloop, just goes right out of Veigar's third ability. It's super easy. Like a lot of champions have a really hard time getting out of those walls of the third ability. Katarina, bloop, she just uses her third ability on a minion or on you, the Veigar, or on an ally, and she's out of it. It's that simple. She just has to know how to play around it, and yeah, she can always survive. She's never gonna get stunned. Ahri did receive a nerf yet again, but still bottom of the S tier. She's really good against melee champions, guys. Ahri is really, really good against melee champions because it's very easy to hit your charm on them. Brand, very strong pick, just a very solid pick, I would say. You know, maybe even bottom S tier, but I put him on top of the A tier because he's not the strongest in the early game, but in the late game, he's very powerful. But, you know, he's not broken anymore. That's why he's on top of the A tier. He's just solid in the early game and quite powerful in late game team fights. So yeah, Fizz, the absolute one-shot champion, you know, always good. Diana, really good late-game team-fighting champion. Seraphine, severely underrated. She's really good in the mid lane against melee champions, especially if you're against a lot of melee champions. Like if the enemy has a melee support, melee jungler, melee mid laner, and a melee baron laner, boom, you pick Seraphine and you counter them. It's that easy, guys. Corki, really good against tanks. Akali, no, Akali has dropped. Akali actually got nerfed and nerfed and nerfed and nerfed and nerfed. And it's hurting her, you know, it is hurting her. I do want to say though, Akali one tricks are still gonna be insanely, are still gonna be popping with Akali, but she's not broken anymore. Like it's not like any person can pick Akali now and dominate the games, really. It's not like that anymore, like it used to be, remember? By the way, Kennen mid, do not play it, okay? Kennen is not meant for the mid because he won't really do well against those ranged champions. He won't really do well against those ganks. Just don't pick him in the mid lane, okay? And that's all I'm gonna say. Oh, and Annie, I quickly want to talk about Annie too. She also got nerfed and nerfed and nerfed. She doesn't have that burst potential anymore. She still does, but it's you know, she's good at ganking still. She's really good at ganking, but in team fights, it's gonna be way harder to hit multiple enemies at the same time. It's just she's not as strong as she used to be anymore, guys. She really isn't. And my poor boy Aurelion Sol, just as I was finally gonna start playing him, He received yet another nerf. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I don't know what to say. He just sucks, guys. He just sucks. Okay, on to the Dragon Lane. And now it gets interesting. So, the thing that's not interesting is Kai'Sa and Ezreal. We all know Kai'Sa and Ezreal are like the best ADC picks in the lane. They're always good. But let's go down here. Varus is incredibly powerful, has very good poking, and just is still a very potent pick in the ADC role. Vayne, pick her against melee champions that cannot easily dive you. Boom, you got yourself a free win. Who is this? Who is this girl doing? Or who is this girl right here, guys? It's your... I was gonna say it's your boy Ashe. Oh my god. Okay, now it's Ashe, guys. I have been... I don't know why. I really don't know why. But I've been underrating Ashe throughout the whole well, not the whole existence of Wild Rift, because she used to be bad. But the moment she got good was when all the new items came out. Essence Reefer and Solaris Chargeblade. These are her items, guys. So you just build a you just build a Mana Immune, the Essence Reefer and the Solaris Chargeblade. She becomes a machine. She becomes an absolute machine. Her ultimate cooldown is super low. She has the longest stun in the game with her ultimate. If you hit it from a long range, 3.5 seconds. I could literally go ahead and take some fruit in 3.5 seconds. Wait, let me prove it to you, okay? 1 second. So Ashe ult hits. I could get fruit, come back, and the Ashe stun would still not even go out of it. Imagine how bad that must be. Like, is there a single champion in the game where it allows you to go ahead and get some fruit from somewhere and come back and still be stunned? Tell me, is there a champion like that? No, of course there's not a champion like that. Okay, on to Veigar, and this is I honestly want to say that I have never tried this and I've never seen it. You know, this is just a disclaimer. This is just what I think. I think Veigar Dragon Lane is gonna be bottom S tier. It's just because he's so broken. But I'm not gonna talk too much about it because, as I said, I have not played it and I've not seen it. This is just what I think after playing him in the mid lane. I think he's going to be really powerful on the Dragon Lane too. Xayah very solid, Jinx very solid, Lucian very solid. I don't really want to talk about these boring champions. Oh, and on the 4th place of the A tier, we got Jhin. I mean, even though Jhin likes the number 4, we still want to see him go up, right? We still want to we want to see him on number 4 right here. Is that day gonna come? I don't know, but let me explain to you why he has actually risen, because he used to be in the Jhin tier, which was all the way here, but he has risen. So some of you may think, or most of you guys may think, that he has risen because of the buff he received, right? They buffed his root duration, but let me tell you, no. I mean, that buff is nice, I guess it's nice, but the main reason that Jhin is actually playable right now is because of the change to the energized items. Static Shiv, Stormrazor, and Rapid Fire Cannon. How it used to work is if you get all these items, you're gonna stack up all the passives. So you're gonna get the bonus range, you're gonna get the damage from the Static Shiv, you're gonna get the slow from the Stormrazor. But what you're not gonna get is all the energized damage. Every single item gives you energized damage. You know, like it allows you to stack up, and then boom, it deals bonus damage. So it used to be that you would only deal damage from one item, but now you deal damage from all 3 items if you buy all of them, guys. So what does that mean for Jhin? If you have all 3 of those items and have the stacks of the energized, boom, that first hit is gonna do an incredible amount of damage. So he has potential now to be good. Obviously, still he kinda sucks, but he has the potential now. In the right hands, Jhin is gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna give you false hope. He's not gonna be broken or anything like that. He's gonna be okay. Okay. Ziggs, you know, this is good it's just good to play with a support like Seraphim and Sona. Same with Orianna, Corki. And here, yeah, Tristana still sucks. I'm sorry to say, but the buffs really didn't do much to her. Senna, you really want to play Senna support, to be honest, not really in the Dragon Lane. Because yeah, if you play her in the Dragon Lane, you have to give away all of your farm to your support, and it can be a little annoying, of course. Okay, on to the support. And here, like Nami, honestly, almost S++ tier. Almost. She's unrivaled. She's really unrivaled. And the gap between Nami and Senna is like pretty big. Like it's pretty big, but they're still both in the S+ tier, I decided. Because she's not utterly broken. It's just the healing that she provides. The bonus movement speed to her allies that she provides. The absolute broken ultimate. Just the everything of Nami is just so stupid. It's really stupid, guys, and broken. Like the lane matchup when you have a Nami is pretty much unrivaled. There is no way to win the lane matchup unless you burst down an enemy, because Nami is always going to be healing up her ally and buffing him or her with the third ability. Then we have Senna. Senna is a really good support because Senna provides healing. Senna provides the most damage as a support. There is not a single support except Veigar that deals more damage than Senna. She's just, you can, if you want a solo carry as a support, you pick Senna. And guys, I have more than enough Senna videos on my YouTube channel, more than enough. So, no, just watch them and carry the games with Senna. By the way, I quickly want to say, if you're interested in joining one of my guilds, EU guilds, SEA guilds, NA guilds, join my Discord. Make sure you join my Discord, and then in the Discord server, you can ask the admins or the mods. There is a chat which says official HellsDevil guilds, and you can join them. If they're not full already, you can join them. Okay, as a support, we have Rakan here, incredibly powerful with the ultimate that engages just Rakan. Like, you saw it in the tournaments, right? So damn strong. It was like a permaban champion. Braum, very solid. Lulu, just a brain dead champion that can keep buffing her ally. Galio, solid, pretty solid support if you're against some ability power. Thresh is very high skilled. This support is a very high skilled champion. But Thresh is getting better and better. He keeps getting buffs. He's still not quite at the place he wants to be, but the thing is, people just don't really know how to play Thresh. If you guys look at League of Legends, the PC version of Wild Rift, the way that people actually effectively play Thresh is with the second ability, with the Lantern. I really feel like in Wild Rift, Thresh players are not utilizing the Lantern correctly. Where they surprise the enemy by throwing a Lantern backwards, and then the Thresh overextends, although the enemy thinks Thresh is overextending, and then the enemy takes the fight with the Thresh, and boom, one of your allies comes through the Lantern and gets a kill. It's these little things that I feel like people have to learn about Thresh to really excel on that champion. Veigar support, I have seen it. There is like some sort of a tanky Veigar build because you're going to be stacking up ability power anyways. So you could go full tank as a support and still carry the game. Luck support, very solid, especially after those ultimate buffs. The ultimate deals more damage now. Brand support deals so much damage. It's really an oppressive support. Leona, just good for diving. And the rest, I'm not really going to talk about the rest because who cares. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye bye.